Wow, quite a touching story how it started, you know, a total stranger. Maybe walk us through it.
Well, I was born back in 1982 to a single mother, and that was in Sultan Ahmud, just on Mombasa Road. And quite in my early ages, it was clear to me that life was not easy. It was not going to be easy because at the age of 3, already we didn't have food in the house. And I was forced to get out of the house and go looking for food. Basically look for the local dump sites and, you know, scavenge for food. Actually, I think when I was 4 years old, one day there was a manhole that was not well filled, and I fell into it. The good thing is I held myself. I did not fall inside completely, and that was around 5, 6 in the morning. And that was the desire to look for food because maybe the previous night I'd slept hungry. And so life became like that. I will see kids going to school, and I don't have the opportunity to. When I was around 7 years of age, that's when I saw the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. My little sister was born out of the desperation to find food for us. And it's unfortunate that at the age of 10 months, she starved to death. And I witnessed that happening, you know, looking at a human life disappearing because of preventable causes. And that made me make a resolve that I will never allow myself go through that experience. And I was ready to hit the streets and do anything, you know, that I can be able to do to survive. And so I became streetwise. Actually, one of the days when I was on one of the dump sites, somebody came from a gate and he asked me, why are you not going to school? And I told him, my mother has never taken me to school. And he told me, I want you to find you in school. Actually, he was the deputy head teacher of that school. And so I dragged myself to school, and the teacher asked me for, you know, what basic kids will need, and I didn't have. We struggled over that time, but the death of my little sister woke my mother to a reality that there was a bigger problem that she could not handle. By that time, she had got a breast condition that whenever she went to the hospital, the doctors would say that we don't know what this is. And so when my sister died, she decided to do what most African women will do, give up your children to someone else to take care of.
Yeah.
So my sis was given up to my grandparents back in the rural home, Makueni, and I was given up to one of her sisters. And she traveled all the way to Mombasa to look for help, basically get some medical care. But every time she went to the hospital, the doctors would say, maybe this is witchcraft, we don't know what it is. But my mom was a very spiritual woman, so she never allowed the thought to cross her to go to a witch doctor. But 4 months down the line, while in Mombasa, she heard that there's a local church that is giving children an opportunity, poor children an opportunity to go to school. And so she came back quickly to Makueni, picked me and my sister, and we took a train ride all the way to Mombasa. And that's why I got sponsored by a 20-year-old Canadian student. The moment I got that sponsorship, I realized that this could be the opportunity for me to change the story of my mother, to change the story of my poverty, and indeed to change the story of what I was seeing every day in the slum, you know. And I took my education very serious. This Canadian young man, he wrote me a letter, and you know, he only said, I'll be praying for you. But I saw an opportunity, basically an escape hatch from poverty. So I arrived in Mombasa, I didn't know Kiswahili. I spoke pure Kikamba.
Kigamba.
Yes. So, but I'm half Kikuyu.
Yeah.
But I spoke pure Kikamba because I lived in Ukambani side. And I went to school, but despite having language challenges, the first time I was number 11. The second time I was number 2. And I realized, as Mbugua Mumbi has always said, it's within you.
Yes.
Discover yourself, and you have the whole future open for you. So I went to school in Mombasa, did my class 8. I was the top student in class 8 against all odds. And actually, unfortunately, in 1996, when I was about to do my KCP in September, my mom died. So anyway, I went to high school in an Arab school, a former Arab school, Amisi High School. And the moment I arrived in Form 1, I had a new adjustment to my vision. Before I went to Form 1, actually, when I did my KCP, my relatives were like, Jimmy, we want you to go to Machakos to do apprenticeship, like metal work.
Yeah.
And they said, there's no money. Your mom never left anything for you to go to high school. And I was like, no, I have a dream bigger than being a metal work dealer. And they say, you know, gave me examples. Look at your cousin, he's a Form 6 leaver. You know, he's here at home farming. Look at myself, I'm a Form 4 leaver, I have nothing I'm doing. You know, why do you want to waste money? I told them, those are your lives.
But
I have my own
your,
life.
yeah.
You know, I have my own destiny. And I remember going to my grandmother's house and kneeling down and praying to God, God, the day I'll see myself in secondary school uniform, I will praise you. And on the 4th of 1997, February, I reported to Form 1 in Amisi High School. And I remember meeting Arab boys and Muslim boys and all kinds of people, and I closed my eyes and said to God, thank you. That day, I adjusted my dream. I said, I'm going to go to the university. And Form 2 was one of the hardest times in my life.
But you
Let me tell you, being an orphan is not easy because you are getting in someone else's life, they have their own needs, and it's not easy to survive that.
Sure, we can't deny the fact that you're a youth ambassador in your own ways. You know, your story is quite touching. And there's some people who maybe have gone through such challenges, maybe they're orphans or maybe life is just difficult. They are poor and they're just sitting there doing nothing, thinking it's like, okay, I was born into this, then yeah, let me just stay in it and, you know, sail through. What can you tell them?
Well, I'll tell you, the moment somebody is born, you are on your own and you're God. And God always has a plan for each one of us. It's only a lazy person who will be comfortable with what they are. Poverty is an opportunity for you to think differently. As I said, when I saw the poverty we were in, sleeping in a mat, my mind woke up to the realization that probably I'm the one to change the situation here.